wanted to get Trump elected. Yet, the Obama-directed assessment was published on January 6, 2017, which explicitly stated, quote, "We assess Putin and the Russian government aspire to help President-elect Trump's election chances, when possible, by discrediting Secretary Clinton and publicly contrasting her unfavorably to him," end of quote. The CIA and FBI, then led by John Brennan and James Comey, expressed high confidence in this judgment, while the NSA expressed moderate confidence.
Greetings, y'all.
Yet, as the report we released today shows, the ICA, the Intelligence Community Assessment, did not cite any report where Putin indicated helping Trump win was an objective. The opposite is true.
Greetings. Are y'all watching this live?
We now know that
This the White House.
Obama administration used in the
Are y'all watching
creation
this?
of this intelligence assessment in
Or
January
were y'all?
2017 was none other than the discredited, unverified Steele dossier. The House Intel report states, quote, contradicting public claims by then CIA Director Brennan that the dossier was not in any way incorporated into this.
Grab my water.
Assessment. The dossier was referenced in the intelligence assessment's main body text and further detailed in a 2-page assessment annex. John Brennan lied. He denied using this dossier in this intelligence assessment that President Obama.
I wonder if I can
because he knew
rewind it.
it was discredited. It was a politically motivated, manufactured document.
I didn't let
He
me
directed
rewind
his
it.
senior CIA officials to use it anyway.
So
CIA
the title of this live is
the House
Obama Impeachment
They
Live.
investigated this, quote, the director of the CIA, John Brennan,
Obama Impeachment Live.
and when confronted with the
U.S.
document,
biggest
he
arrest
responded, quote,
shocks
yes,
nation.
but doesn't it ring true? Even the bipartisan Senate Select Committee on Intelligence report published in 2020 criticized the FBI's handling of the
Gratitude, troop.
noting its completely unverified nature and
Now,
purposeful sidestepping of intelligence.
I'm gonna play it, but this is what made me come on and talk about this shit because I was fixing my little food here, and I'm listening to her. I don't know who she is. She's some genome Latin looking lady with a white gray strip looking like Storm. The lady, not Storm. What's the other person from X-Men? Her. And she starts talking about how Hillary Clinton was on pills and like she was strung out. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course she's a demon and she's eating children allegedly and shit. Of course, yes, y'all all are. But why I'm trying to figure out why the fuck are they throwing her under this bus like this? And Obama too. Greetings, y'all.
Of this assessment in January 2017 by President Obama.
Can y'all hear
And he
it?
expressed confidence in its findings.
So it says Obama impeachment. So are they trying to impeach him from what?
The same classified assessment that President Obama received, which included the high confidence judgment that Putin directly ordered the hacking and election interference. Papa then went on to add, I think they, the Russians, actually influenced the outcome. This is a brief summary of the details that you'll find within the House Majority Staff's report in their investigation into the Obama-directed January 2017 Intelligence Community Assessment. That leads us to the very same conclusion that we announced in the release of our documents on Friday. The implications of this are far-reaching and have to do with the integrity of our democratic republic. It has to do with an outgoing president taking action to manufacture intelligence, to undermine and usurp the will of the American people in that election, and launch what would be a years-long coup.
Oh my God.
United States.
Oh my God. Oh, I get it. They're trying to take the presidency from Obama, period, like to impeach him out of office, to say, like, to even wipe him off as being president. Is that what the fuck they trying to do? Saying that he bought and paid for different. Say no legacy for us, and she has the house. I don't know what you're talking about. My head is hurting. I got a headache, child. I need to lay down. That's what they trying to do, ain't it? Because I was like, so they trying to discredit, and please do, by all means, I don't give a fuck, but I just trying to understand, like, what's the distraction, what's the guys here. So they're trying to discredit Hillary Clinton by saying she was strung out on pills. They said that. And then this is Obama impeachment. So it says the biggest arrest shocks nation. Now this is it's Times now 166 watching, started 2 weeks ago is what it says, right? I don't even think that he's going to run again. I feel like they're trying to take like the that's what I'm saying. Is it even possible to impeach a non-sitting president unless you're trying to wipe his status off? Like, what are we talking about? Like, the shit is bananas. Who?
Senate Intelligence Committee spent several years looking into this and unanimously agreed that bipartisan fashion, Secretary of State Rubio was a member of that committee, that there was no political interference. It was a years-long Justice Department investigation as well that also concluded no political interference. So help us,
That part.
50,000 foot level, explain, what do you now have?
The chick you watch is going to
I
run
will
in.
encourage you, in my role as the Director of National Intelligence.
Oh, she's the Director of National Intelligence.
Was to make sure that we are telling the truth to the American people.
But you're not. You never have.
That the intelligence community is not being politicized. So I'm not asking you to take my word.
So she head of the CIA?
In the media to conduct honest journalism and the American people to see for yourself in the documents that we've released now, close to 200 pages.
The documents that y'all didn't cook the fuck up?
Multiple examples to include comments that have been made by senior intelligence professionals who are some still working within these agencies today that confirm the conclusions that we have drawn. That President Obama directed an intelligence community assessment to be created to further this contrived false narrative that ultimately led to a years-long coup to try to undermine President Trump's presidency.
And if you're wrong, the two previous investigations missed that or covered it up?
I'm telling you to look at the evidence. Look at the evidence and you will know the truth.
What?
Thanks, Director Gabbard. You declassified these documents, if I'm not mistaken, Friday of last week, correct?
We released them on Friday of last week, the first tranche, yes.
This isn't the first time that President Trump has been president of the United States. He was president from 2017 to 2021. Couldn't the prior DNI under President Trump have declassified these documents? And why didn't that DNI do that at that time?
Right.
I can't speak to what happened there. There were several DNIs under the first Trump administration. President Trump faced many challenges from
He's a malignant
those
narcissist
who sought to undermine his presidency. That's been clearly detailed. What I can speak to is the fact that this was one of the first things.
This is about him still getting back at Obama. Remember when him and Obama was going? First of all, I don't know. There's a beef behind this. This ain't got shit to do with what the fuck they talking about. This some other shit. This is on YouTube. It's on YouTube. The White House Times Network.
That we start.
And accurate as it relates to trying to influence elections.
I'll point back to the intelligence that President Trump has ordered declassified, that we have declassified and released, that
Maybe Charles Adam.
Intelligence reflects Russia's motives or to try to sow discord and chaos within the U.S. election, which is a clear distinction from showing a preference for or against a specific
He's so narcissistic. This is crazy.
Manufactured
this is crazy.
Document alleges that Russia preferred Donald Trump and tried to help Donald Trump get elected. Again, going back to the most important point here, with the intent to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump's election and therefore subvert the will of the American people who chose to send him to the White House.
What are you even talking about? That shit is old. It's over with. He's the fucking president of what? I don't know.
December 2016 presidential daily briefing that demonstrated that Russia did not steal the election. Trump was receiving these briefings at the time since he was president-elect. Are you of the view that that information was kept out of the briefing because then...
How can Russia even dictate or steal an election that belongs to America?
New guidance was that was given as the reason for pulling that document, which, by the way, still has never been published until we release.
Y'all need to tell us something because we don't understand.
One could assume that they didn't want President Trump to see a document that came from the intelligence community that would contradict the Russia hoax narrative that began through the Hillary Clinton campaign with the Steele dossier.
So they saying Hillary Clinton was in on it too. That's why they're trying to paint her as being.
What's my favorite thing about falsity?
They trying to paint her as being a pill popper. Girl, that is crazy. You said we've been bought? Yeah, but by China.
Wants to see all those who perpetuated this fraud against our country.
I don't know who the little frumpy
frumpy
blonde is talking.
Thoroughly investigated and held accountable. And it's been 10 years of this. And I would just add, based on everything the director
is Donald Trump trying to surround himself with bitches?
In this room should go through it and take a look at this report and review the intelligence, because unfortunately that hasn't happened. And many of the people who perpetuated this hoax, Clapper, Andy McCabe, James Comey, and many others, have been hired by major networks in this room to go on television and continue to spew these lies, knowing that they are lies. And if you all recall, just flashback to 2016 and the years after, the entire Trump 1 presidency was embroiled in this scandal that was perpetuated by the Democratic Party. And you had major Democratic Party officials in this city, namely Adam Schiff, Hillary Clinton.
He said, because he just went to this dinner. That's what I was talking about. I'm gonna play it. It's 9 minutes long, but I'm gonna play it for y'all. He said he made a statement during his trip to England, sit down with the royals, that he is the first American president to have been invited to a dinner with the royals. You said you confused on that. So they ain't even do all this when he was doing all of that shaking during the election. She ran it. Listen, I don't even understand what is the point of all of this. You doing this press conference for what? And it says live. I'm trying to figure out if it's really live. Because if so, do y'all know what time it is? It can't be live. So it's not live. It says started 2 weeks ago. Is it happening right now? You say she's a little pill popper and they got them white balls hanging out of their nose. All of them are fucked up and fucked off. I'm just trying to understand what the point of this is.
How do you respond to critics like former President Obama and also others on the Hill who say that the administration is conflating apples and oranges here, conflating allegations of actual hacking?
Look at this black guy back there with his camera like he really taking pictures. They ain't took
I
shit.
think it's a disservice to the American people that former President Obama's office and others who are criticizing the transparency that is being delivered by releasing
I'm confused too.
These documents. They are doing a disservice to the American people and trying to deflect away from their culpability in what is a historic scandal. And
you know what I'm saying, y'all?
Action towards the American people and our democratic republic.
What is happening? Like, for real? Because it says started 2 weeks ago. You said they got a whole bunch of lives going right now. How the fuck? And that's what I keep trying to figure out, because I sometimes watch these and I'd be like, y'all lying like a motherfucker. But I'm just trying to understand and figure the fuck out. How are they live when it ain't really live? So y'all live streaming a video? Is that what it is? They live streaming a video? Let me play this video from the UK. So they live streaming a recording. Distractions. Distractions. I ain't distracted. Make sure y'all get over to Generational Beauty and get your Generational Beauty products. Get over to awalkwithancestors.com. Get your tarot cards. We do have the Didn't He Do It tarot deck, as well as we have the original Affirmation Oracle and Affirmation Oracle tarot deck, the High Council one. We have those both available. So go over there and get that. We have taken some of our other things down, but just make sure you get over there when you get that, okay? Okay, too.
Donald Trump's visit to here, the United Kingdom, this week. I'm sure by now you've seen pictures online, here on TikTok and various other social media outlets, of what was projected onto Windsor Castle last night. But did you realise they didn't just show a few pictures? They broadcast loudly over loudspeakers, along with the images, the whole story of Donald Trump. It was 9 minutes long, all projected onto that turret of the castle of Windsor Castle. Please, here you go. Watch it. Here it is for you in its entirety. And full credit to LED by Donkey, the people who did this. They are heroes. Check it out.
This is Windsor Castle, home of the British royal family, where Donald Trump is staying during his state visit. And this is a film about Trump's relationship with the world's most famous pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein. Their friendship goes back to at least 1992, when the two of them are filmed laughing together. Trump can be seen making friendly conversation with Epstein in between clips of Trump smiling and dancing
You better cut a rug. You better cut a goddamn
Mar-a-Lago
rug.
resort in Florida. The following year, they attend a cafe opening together. And a month after that, Trump invites Epstein to his wedding. In 1995, a young woman called Maria Farmer is working for Epstein in Manhattan. Late one night, she says, Epstein unexpectedly calls her to his offices, and she arrives in running shorts. Donald Trump then turns up wearing a business suit and starts to hover over her. Ms. Farmer feels scared as Trump stares at her bare legs. Then Epstein enters the room, and she recalls him saying to Trump, no, she's not here for you. The two men then leave the room, and Ms. Farmer says she heard Trump commenting that he thought Ms. Farmer was 16 years old. She says she later reported the incident to the authorities. Trump denies he was ever in Epstein's office. 1993 to 1997, Trump takes at least 8 flights on Epstein's private jet, according to flight logs released by the U.S. Department of Justice. The plane is later dubbed the Lolita Express, a reference to the character in the Nabokov novel by the same name, a 12-year-old child who is sexually abused by an older man. 1997, Trump and Epstein are seen together at 2 Victoria's Secret parties and are photographed together at Mar-a-Lago. The same year, Trump gifts a book to Epstein with the dedication, "To Jeff, you are the greatest, Donald." 2000, a 16-year-old girl, Virginia Giuffre, is working in the spa at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. There, she is recruited by Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, to work as a personal masseuse for Epstein. The teenager will soon become, in her words, a teen sex slave and will endure years of sexual abuse.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and entrapped in a world that I didn't understand.
25 years later, Trump will acknowledge he was aware that young women were being recruited from Mar-a-Lago by Epstein.
Are some of them young women? Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Trump is then asked if one of them was Virginia Giuffre.
I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her.
2 years later, after Giuffre was recruited from his club by Epstein and Maxwell, Trump tells New York Magazine he thinks that Epstein is a, quote, terrific guy, and that they have known each other for 15 years. He's a lot of fun to be with, Trump says. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do. and many of them are on the younger side. 2003, Trump draws a message in a book made for Epstein's 50th birthday. The drawing depicts a woman's breasts and is accompanied by text written by Trump to Epstein that includes the line, quote, "We have certain things in common, Jeffrey," end quote. Trump signs off by saying, quote, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." A Donald signature is written in the place of pubic hair. 22 years later, Trump will begin legal action against the Wall Street Journal over their reporting of the drawing, claiming it doesn't exist. Epstein's estate then releases the drawing to Congress. Another entry in the birthday book contains a photo of Epstein holding a novelty check bearing Donald Trump's signature, along with a note suggesting Epstein, quote unquote, sold Trump a woman for $22,500. It's unclear if the photo and accompanying note is a joke or not. 2004. The two men fall out, and their close relationship ends. The reason for their estrangement? They both tried to buy the same Palm Beach mansion. 2005, police in Palm Beach begin investigating Epstein after a 14-year-old child reports he molested her at his mansion. 2008, Epstein pleads guilty to state charges in Florida, including procuring a child for prostitution.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it for just a second because let's look at this real quick now. They had been friends this whole time until they wanted the same piece of property, right? Now, where the first charges come from is where I guess he won the property, Jeffrey. So once he won the property, I guess, and bought the property up under Don. So Don is very narcissistic. So he started having charges put up against him. He started telling the truth about the guy, right? Because he knew he could have him arrested and all kind of shit. So now that's what it looks like, right? It looks like now he's making trouble for him because he cannot get past the fact that maybe he didn't get the property. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what it looks like, right?
The sweetheart plea deal, agreed by U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, includes a non-prosecution agreement giving Epstein immunity from possible federal charges. He is sentenced to just 18 months in jail. Under the plea deal, Epstein is allowed to be out of jail from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 6 days a week and has his own driver to take him to and from his office. 2010. In a legal deposition, Epstein is asked about his relationship with Donald Trump.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
By the way, this was around about the time that Prince Andrew was photographed walking with Epstein in Central Park. 2016. According to award-winning CBS News producer Ira Rosen, Maxwell confirms to him that Epstein secretly taped his famous friends, including Trump and Bill Clinton. February 2017. Donald Trump, now President of the United States, nominates Alex Acosta, the man behind Epstein's sweetheart plea deal, to be his Secretary of Labor. August 2017.
So when they raid Diddy's house, whose tapes are they looking for? They're tethered.
Epstein conducts a series of taped interviews with the journalist Michael Wolff. Research.
Told y'all they got this man on tape. I told y'all they had him on tape. Allegedly now.
Epstein claims Trump first slept with Melania on the Lolita Express and also says he was Trump's closest friend for a decade.
So how do you know this?
That was closest friend.
July 2019. Epstein is arrested in New York on federal sex trafficking charges. The truth about his decades-long history of child abuse is finally being widely reported. A month later, he's found dead in his jail cell. The authorities declare his death a suicide. 2020. Maxwell is charged with federal crimes for helping recruit underage girls for Epstein and participating in the abuse herself. Trump is asked about the charges and
but replies,
I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I.
Okay. Let me pause again. Let me just say, okay. Do y'all see the rouge? Y'all see what's happening? I'm going to paint it in a different way. So you got two people that were close friends, and they got upset about a pissing contest, right? As they were lovingly measuring each other's dicks. And one felt like his dick was bigger, but he did not win the contest, and so therefore he has gotten upset. But the other one knew that he had these motherfuckers on camera doing salacious things, and you know how I love that word. Whom else does this sound like? Does this not sound like 50 Cent and Diddy? Right down to the videos, right?
Lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well.
2024.
You know they
asked
lived in
about
Palm
whether
Beach because he
would
bought the
release
fucking house he
so-called
wanted.
Epstein files, information about Epstein's crimes, and potentially his famous accomplices. Trump seems unsure.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah,
Would you declassify JFK files?
yeah,
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would. I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
2025. Trump is.
So he don't think that there's phony shit in the JFK files, and yeah, his whole voice changed. Shit. This bitch asked me this shit for I mean, I guess I would. I mean, you don't want to turn somebody's whole life upside down. How the fuck do you know? It don't matter. Release the fucking tapes. Release the fucking tapes. Declassify them bitches. It don't matter. They shouldn't be on there. What would be fake about it? They're tapes. What would be fake about it?
Now president again, and his administration blocks release of the Epstein files. It is soon revealed that his attorney general, Pam Bondi, told Trump in May that his name is in the files before authorizing the release of a handful of transcripts only. Trump's one-time personal lawyer, now Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, then meets Ghislaine Maxwell in prison for 9 hours. Amid speculation of a quid pro quo to protect Trump, days later, Maxwell is moved to a low-security prison famous for its comfortable conditions and known as Club Fed. This is what we know. The President of the United States was a longtime close friend of America's most notorious child sex trafficker. He's alleged to be mentioned numerous times in the files arising from the investigation into that child sex trafficker. And now he is back in office. The U.S. federal government appears to be doing all it can to prevent the American public from learning fully about the president's relationship with the country's most notorious child sex trafficker. Now that president, Donald Trump, is sleeping here in Windsor Castle.
So now I got my phone. I can Google, but I just would like some participation from y'all. Can somebody look up and see how did Jeffrey Epstein make his $1 billion? I've seen it before, but just for the sake of conversation, can somebody see how Jeffrey Epstein made his $1 billion empire? If y'all don't mind. What you mean? You said, oh my God, wait, he was in there when they did this? You mean there? Yes, girl. Yes, he was gagged. Now, it is a lot of things on those tapes. And I told y'all, yes, we're speaking about pedophilia, but we're also speaking about Do y'all remember what was it like? It was like maybe 2, 3 years ago when they maybe 4. I think it's like 3 years ago though. Maybe 4. I can't remember. Y'all would know. Oh wait. You say elite client fees. Epstein made hundreds of millions of dollars by managing the finances of a secret few billionaires, with the most notable being L Brand founder Leslie Wexner and Apollo Global Manna. So basically, child trafficking. Where all of these billionaires, right? Now we know we have the 13 prominent families, 12, 13 families, right? The very prominent families, from the DuPonts to the Rothschilds to the Morgans to the Vanderbilts, right? We have the 13 prominent families that they claim run the world, okay, and everything in it, to the point where their finances in totality, it is not a number in the economic banking system. Their bank accounts don't really exist. It's just power. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that? They're global. Like, you can look them up and it may say, oh, just throw out a name, just so I don't even know if there's a Scott Rothschild, but I'm just gonna say Scott Rothschild would is worth like $580 million, right? The family estate itself, they don't have, like, whatever number they would give you would be to make you comfortable, because they don't have, they have power, and people give them shit because they have power. They have leverage. They have economic standing within the building structure of the world because they formulated it that way. Said that part, these people not spending money they want. Correct. You know what I'm saying? So they're watching us fight and work for a global economic system that doesn't really exist, of currency that doesn't really exist. See, it means nothing to them. Well, because they own it. They own the shit, right? They own the shit. So if they own the majority of things that are populating our world, yes, they will play the role, but to count the monies. Like, do you think the Windsors in London, they're the monarchs? So, and that means, like, do you think that they have like account, like their accounts? Like, what was in the Queen's account? She makes and owns, she makes the money. So what would have been in her account? What would have been in her account? You know what I mean? She owns countries. What would have been in her account? say exactly. They own power companies, banks, etc. Exactly. As a grown woman, I didn't even know that, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I found out, and I can look it up, that the Queen Elizabeth was also the owner of Jamaica. Like, how do you own a country? I can look it up if we need be. Right? She owned countries. Right? Am I mistaken? Because I can look it up. I don't mind being off. I want to make sure that I was understanding, because I didn't know this shit until like a couple years ago. Okay. Gratitude, D honey, because what the fuck would be in her account? Children's blood? Hmm? That's what would be in there. Children's blood. I'm confused. So there is, like, it's only power. You know, money and the power, money and the power. They have the power. They want to give us a minute fraction of money that don't really exist, because if as long as we are chasing, and believe me, baby, I'm chasing it too. As long as we are chasing monetary gain, then we are not fundamentally accessing our own power, which gives them the power. I don't know why you're asking if this is a Pan-African channel. I don't even know what that even matters for. What does that even mean? I'm a Melanite woman. I don't understand. What's the question here? Are you a Pan-African? If so, I don't care. I'm just trying to, they own nothing. No taxes, bill, regular people stuff. They control everything. Yeah. And will assassinate you if you try to own some real shit. They have monopolized everything on the board. They like, all right, bitch, you can have that house and that house. Go on over there to St. James, because don't nobody really want fucking St. James. Go on over there. Keep your ass off of Park Place, bitch. Just keep your ass off from over here. You know what I mean? Now, you're doing way the fuck too much. I said, go on over there to St. James now and put your 1-2 little houses because you think you're doing something. That's why they don't respect new money. New money. That's new money. Where I come from, old money. What is old money? Money and money is money, ain't it? Currency is currency. No, bitch, what they said is, bitch, you have dollars. Bitch, I have power. Ooh, that's loud in my ear. Spirit said RICO charges are coming. RICO charges are coming. The way that they're getting ready to come for people, let me tell y'all, let me listen. The way that they're getting ready to come for people, and with these RICO charges and whatnot, it has the power, and there's that word again, to collapse the fucking economy because of the people that they are going to go after. But let me tell you something. The people that are with the power are going to be the ones that, like, they'll throw the little man, the low man on the totem pole, under the bus to ensure their safety. They will do that. And they don't give a fuck who it affects at all, as long as it don't affect them. See, there's a few questions that I have, right? Can we talk in realistic terms? Because as you know how you sometimes you just think about some shit. Like you see the castles, and I mean like the castles that sit off by the water and the beaches, and the castles that are over in Rome, and the castles that are in, Ireland and England, and some of them sit by the, let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see something. Okay. See, I mean shit like this. Right? And like this. Okay, right? Okay. So now okay, for the AI overview, right? The largest castle in the world is Malbork Castle in Poland. By land area, a UNESCO UNESCO World Heritage Site built by the Teutonic Knights in the 13th century. Okay? That's my whole point. If we can just stop the fuck right there. It says, now I'm going to look that up because now I want to, let's look it up if we could. Let me just open up another. And grand night, morning, whatever it is, Tom. The Teutonic Order is a Catholic religious institution founded as a military society 1190 in Acre Kingdom of Jerusalem. The Order of Brothers of the German House of Saint Mary in Jerusalem. Okay. They just told you what the Teutonic Knights are, right? Okay. Do the Teutonic Knights still exist? Yes, the Order of Teutonic Knights. Let me show you. Bitch. Ooh. There's the cross. There's the cross. There's the real cross. Huh? Okay. So, Naya, it says, yes, the Order of the Teutonic Knights, Order of the Brothers of the German. If you've been following me since about 2020, you know why that's important. The German House of Saint Mary in Jerusalem still exists today as a Catholic charitable organization. Okay. Now I showed you the castle. The last one that I showed you, the Teutonic Knights built it how? How? The 13th century. That is 1201 through the 1300s. 1201 through the 1300s, right? Now, more specifically, the 13th century was the century which lasted from January 1st. Pause. Although the Gregorian calendar wasn't created until 1582. The Gregorian calendar wasn't created until 1582. However, the 13th century was the century which lasted from January 1st, 1201, represented by the Roman numerals MCCI, through December 31st, 1300. MCCC, in accordance with the Julian calendar. So, hey, in 1200 through 1300, how did they build these castles? Now, who the fuck is Julian? Stop it. How did they build these castles? Who's documenting all of this? Chaz? Did y'all know that in Chaz's past life, she was a demon slayer? She was a vampire slayer. I did a past life. Who was building it? The castles, a lot of these castles were built for vampirics. And the Romanovs, right? The Romanovs. The other dragons. See, the dinosaurs, the reptilians, they just dispersed throughout the land, and became different families. Who built all of these castles with what materials? They did not tear these castles down and redid them like the Sphinx and the pyramids. The pyramids are built with such precision, they cannot be duplicated. They don't know how the mathematics exist in the way that they were built. Now, they want to live in these beautiful big castles that I would never step foot in, because I feel like my whole soul would shake upon entering at the doorstep. They're layers. And I don't mean layers, I mean like layers. A layer a place where a wild animal, especially a fierce or dangerous one, lives. A burial plot in a graveyard. A lair is a well hidden secret place where a wild animal such as a tiger, bear, or fox rest in shelters. In more informal sense, a lair can also refer to a secret hiding place, retreat, or home of a person, like a villain's lair or a person's private room. And again, I ask you,
This morning,
like the Edinburgh Castle. Let's go to it. Let's see. I really want you to see what I'm saying. Like this shit. This shit right here. Let me just go to the site. Let me see. Move. Stop it. This is the world's strongest castle. The world's strongest castle. Now, I don't know when it was built, but I just want you to take a look at it. It's in the middle of water. Who's building these things? Especially like when you see when they were built. Let's see if we can see when was it built. Let's see. Wait a minute. Mont Saint Michel, France, built on a high peak. Mont Saint Michel near Normandy, France, is one of medieval architecture's greatest achievements. And this is what it looks like. Medieval. In all of the movies you have seen of medieval times, they had a big old thing that had a bra strap on it and a boulder rock, and they put the boulder rock on the bra strap and pulled it back and launched it across, trying to get it across to kill somebody at the castle because the drawbridge was up, so they couldn't get into the castle. So they had to launch a boulder rock with a bra strap or a cannon, right? Over the castle wall that sometimes may not have made it if the bra strap wasn't strong enough. You telling me these motherfuckers built this castle in the middle of the water? My favorite thing is my very most favorite thing. We love to watch Bridgerton, right? We love Bridgerton and we love the Buccaneers, right? Now, in the Buccaneers, more specifically, and the Gilded Age, we can even go to the Gilded Age, right? Now, they will show you, even in these times, right? Now, I can understand if we just talking about around the corner, but my favorite thing is the letters that they were getting very quickly from England to America, from Scotland to America, right to their front door. Interesting. It's my favorite thing. The parcel system, when there were no zoning codes and shit. even when you watch like old South movies, like, you got a letter? Who you got a letter from? Oh, you got a letter. And I'm talking like that on purpose for a reason. Because who was bringing it? It came from where? It traveled and made it. Like when you watch the one movie about the black ladies that they were in the military, but they ended up having to do the mail and they couldn't figure out. They couldn't figure out because they were only putting CW and shit like this and X's on the goddamn letters. But because we are geniuses and I don't want to take nothing away, but I'm going to have to. And they were smelling the perfumes. They were geniuses and they smelled the perfumes and knew exactly where those perfumes would originate from, plus the little pieces of cloth that they had put into there, and they realized that that must have come from Debbie's Furniture on East First, don't exist, and they knew exactly where to give the letters to, although half of the letters were torn up with just a C and W on it. Paul Revere delivered the mail on the way to warn the people in Boston he was the original FedEx. Let's look it up. Oh, Paul. You hear a lot about Paul Revere. Who happened to be, y'all know who they say he was. What's his name? The actor, right? This is Paul Revere. Is that Jack Black? Is that Jack Black? Jack Black. If you don't know who Jack Black is, let me pull him up for you just real quick. Just real quick. Oh, they put it up for me. They did it themselves. I didn't even have to do much. Because they come back. They come back. Okay. Oh, Paul. Paul's born January 1st, 1735, North End, Boston, Massachusetts. He died May 10th, 1818 in Boston, Massachusetts. Paul Revere was an English silversmith, military officer, and industrialist. How did he know he was an American silversmith? Industrialist. Do you think he knew he was an industrialist? Who played a major role during the opening months of the American Revolutionary War. He played a major role in the opening months of the play. Oh, no, it's real? Okay. Oh, never mind. Of the American Revolutionary War in Massachusetts. Engaging in a midnight ride and don't change while I'm reading. Engaging in the midnight ride in 1775 to alert nearby Minutemen of the approach of the British troops prior to the battles of Lexington and Concord. Who told Paul? Paul was silversmith and shit, and much like Miss Tubman, he had a Raven moment, like Quatita probably. I don't know. Maybe they wrote it in his script. So he was silversmithing shit in his industrial area. And around midnight, and I don't know, and he knew it was midnight or who he told. Did we believe him? So let's talk about it. Let's dissect this. So Paul got a call from someone and somewhere. Can you imagine this story? Let's reenact it. Let's do it. Stop. Paul, where are you coming from? I just had to go over there, and I know it's about 3 a.m., but whoa, girl. I had to go and tell them I had got a vision about 11:58. And something told me that the British troops were coming in. I was in the middle of silversmith and shit. And I climbed upon my horse. 17 niggas came in. I grabbed this nigga, spent him around, and I rushed to my horse. And I was like, I was still holding the nigga like this. As I ran to the door, I was shooting my way out of my silversmith industry. And so I ran and jumped on Tonto, and I was riding out. Because I had got a vision in the middle of the night about 11:58. And they said, you must go and warn them go before thy thee and warn them that the British troops is coming. Only you, Paul Revere, Jack Black, only you can do this. The niggas was still shooting at me when I jumped on Tonto and was riding the fuck out. You know what I mean? And I was like, the phone rang. Well, it wasn't really no phone. You know what I mean? I had talked to Alexander Graham Bell. You know what I'm talking about. One nigga down the street. You know what I mean? I had told him we needed it. And but listen, I went over there and told them niggas, and I saved the whole fucking stuff, you know. I saved these motherfuckers in Massachusetts, and that's what happened. I imagine that's how he told that story. Reason why I got back the way it did, I imagine that's what Paul had said when he told the story. Because he was an American silversmith military officer. He was military silversmith and stuff. When he had to go jump on fucking Tonto and tell him. And he saved the American Revolutionary War in Massachusetts single-handedly. Because he knew the British was coming. He was silversmithing shit about 11:58 p.m. And he went over there and he told them, and the rest is history. So I imagine that's how the story went, right? Yeah. Had to be out of breath because he did that. And I imagine that the Teutonic Knights order of the brothers, the vampires, built the castles. Let's look at the one in Transylvania. Let's look. And then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I know y'all be sick of my shit. Dracula's Castle. So Dracula's Castle generally refers to Bran Castle in Transylvania, Romania. I know when I said Romania, y'all thought I was just saying shit. No, bitch, it's Dracula's Castle, which inspired the fictional castle in Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, due to its Gothic appearance and location at a mountain pass. Here it is. That's Dracula's Castle, the real one in Transylvania. And the fictional Count Dracula is loosely based on the historical figure Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, meaning he impales the shit in your neck. Like Charlie. Who may have had some connection to the castle as a prisoner, though Stoker never visited the location himself. Who built the castle? Let's ask. Who built it? Who built Dracula's castle? These niggas is busy. Hey, these niggas is busy, B. The Teutonic niggas built the castle, y'all. Yeah. No. Bro, these niggas is carrying what? Sticks and paint cans? They nigga. Yeah. These niggas is building castles across the world. Bitch, no. Stop playing with me. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, Chivali Wally. Bitch. The Teutonic Knights built. They built. Bitch, they can't make it up. Bran Castle, often called Dracula's Castle, the was originally, not secondarily, originally built by the Teutonic Knights in the 12th century. Not the 13th, bitch. The 12th, bitch. In the 12th century, bitch. Oh, wait, I got to just pause for the fuck a second, bitch. Wait. Ooh. These niggas, they traveling. So they done went, they traveling, bitch. That's the 1101 to 1200. And this is what they look like. Is them niggas? That look like a nigga to me. Is that a nigga? Is they biracial? That look like a nigga to me. They carrying these shields with all of these goddamn gowns on. That's what you telling me. With these formulated swords and all of this metal gear. And they didn't travel all the way to Romania. Hold on. Hold on. I need answers. Just a fuck pause. I know they better not say they didn't build all of these motherfucking. Just hold on. They didn't sashay they fucking asses to Transylvania with their gowns on. Okay. There you go. Let me see. I need to. From France. That's what it was. Mont Saint Michael, France. Maybe they had brotherhoods all over. Now, in today's time, I got to do it in today's time. In today's time, it is 26 hours apart. Today's time. 26 hours apart. That is 2,539.4 kilometers. Is it km is kilometers? Okay, yes. All right. But the kicker is they built the one in Romania. They had tall ladders. They did. They had real tall ones. They don't make them no more. The one in Romania was built in the 12th century, anywhere between 1101 to 1200. I'm about to let y'all go. And then they took, I guess, a century and traveled the 26 hours of century time to Mont St. Michael's, France, and built that one in the middle of the water. They were busy. Let's see if they built any other ones. Oh, I got a headache. Ooh, if I don't get some dick, bitch, I'm telling you. I can't keep going like this. No money or dick. This ain't gonna happen, and I got to put up with this. Something's got to give. The Teutonic Order, and maybe it was a lot of them. I'm about to find out in just momentarily. The Teutonic Order built over, where's my drum roll? Over 200. The Teutonic, and if I'm not pronouncing that right, please forgive me. The Teutonic Order built over 200 defensive structures, including castles, strongholds, and other fortifications in the 13th and 14th century. They forgot about the 12th century because they built the castle in Transylvania, Romania for Dracula. Oops. Give them their credit. So they were building shit in the 12th century because that's what it said. They forgot one. In the 13th and 14th century, these structures were strategically placed to allow for communication, with a typical stronghold being a horse ride away from another to prevent knights from spending the night outside the safety of the Teuton Castle. Couple questions. I have a couple questions now. They were working hard. I have a couple questions now. First of all, did they build the castles on ley lines? I'm just learning about ley lines. I had no idea until Audrey taught me about them. So were the castles purposefully built on ley lines? And if so, how did they know? 2, where is the castle they forgot from Romania? We'll say 2 for that. Let's go past it. Let's not get stuck on that, Quatita. 3, these structures were strategically, so they came up with plans and said, we're going to create these monumentous castles that's probably going to take 7 years to build with our equipment. And we're going to make sure that they're only a horse ride away so we don't get caught out here that ain't safe by who is making it unsafe. Is it the niggas that God was telling Cain about? Oh, them niggas was still creeping around. So they were hiding. So they were in fear of the night outside. So they was in fear of the same niggas that Cain was afraid of. When Cain told God, like, well, what if the one niggas catch me outside slipping? And God said, you got this, you all right? So they was secretly scared and hiding from them too. I guess they only come out in the dark like vampires. Because we were told vampires only come out in the dark, although some of them be out in the light. And he told you Blade. I don't know. So they have built, don't get sidetracked. They have built more than 200 defensive structures or strongholds. We don't really know what a stronghold is, but they did. This spacing enabled rapid communication and ensured the knights could remain under the protection of a castle each night. Now I want to know how long did it take them to build them? The time it took the Teutonic Knights to build castles varied greatly, from a few years for smaller forts to over a century for major complexes like Malbork Castle, which was expanded over 132 years. Hey, real quick. Really quickly, while I screw my head back on, if someone can just give me the answer, because they just told you that they wanted to ensure that they were under the safety of a castle each night. So they were in danger anywhere from a few years to 132 years of their death because they died somewhere in there. Did people take over? Was they birthing other Teutonics as they were building? A lot of people sometimes in these eras die building the buildings. The war against the Wolf Order. Maybe they were the Wolf Orders that was building them. See, Miss Yvonne? Maybe they were the Wolf Orders. And maybe they was hiding from the vampirics because they come out at nighttime. Although it took them anywhere from a few years for the small forts to 132 years for the bigger ones. Although they were traveling all the way to Romania to build them. The number of men in the Teutonic Brotherhood fluctuated significantly throughout its history, but it had approximately 2,000 brother knights and over 20,000 lay members at the peak of its power in the late 14th century. The order's overall fighting force, also included mercenaries and vassal soldiers, swelling its ranks significantly. Who was counting? Were they keeping census? They were keeping census, wasn't they? They was counting by the census. They couldn't count. Who was doing the math to build the shit? Hey. Hey. Either somebody got to fuck me or somebody got to answer the question. Hey, they couldn't count, bitch. They wasn't counting, bitch. Who was doing the mathematics for the building of the goddamn castles? So who was counting? I'm going to be in the bed. I'll be waiting on you. I'm going to be in the bed waiting on you. Somebody better find the Teutonic Knight's horse and ride your ass over here. They use Fortnite magic, the overseers, because they couldn't count. Who was counting up to 2,000 and 20,000? Who was doing that count? Who did the fucking mathematics to build the fucking castle? See, my questions go deeper. Like I would like for somebody to go deeper, but that is not what we're talking about. All right. Anybody fucking answer you coming? Hey, all right. Well, I guess wait a minute, let me read this. Early period when the order assimilated the Livonian Brothers of the Sword. That's a different group. In the 13th century, it gained roughly 5,700 additional members. Roughly 5,700 members additional, including knights, sergeants, and auxiliary forces. They were strong in power. They must have been keeping census all these years. Decline. After a major defeat at the Battle of Tannenberg in 1410, the order went into decline. So, wait a minute. After a major defeat at the Battle of Tannenberg in 1410, the order went into decline. Now, in 1410, a decline meant they was killing these motherfuckers. That means they were swording them to death, probably in the neck. Swording them to death, and they were not returning back to finish castles. So it was a decline in their numbers. The number of members in its Persian territories dropped from 700 in 1379 to just 55 by 1525. Perusian, I said Persian, Perusian. Where's Perusians from? Where they at? Where's Perugia? Kalia, you just magically pop up when I'm talking about pussy and dick. I don't know how that happens every time. Where's Perugia? Peru? Is y'all guessing? Let me look. Y'all don't know. I'ma Google it. Y'all lying. Y'all don't even know. Perusians are from the historical region of Perugia, a territory that existed across parts of what are now Germany, Poland, and Russia along the southern eastern coast of the Baltic Sea. The original old Perusians were a Baltic people. And they probably wasn't brushing their teeth, but could build castles. Wasn't washing their ass, but can build castles like a motherfucker. You say, oh my God, I just saw Acosta stepping down over Epstein files. I told y'all they were going to be stepping down. It's going to be a lot of them. Why? Because they own the files. They in the files. They were a Baltic people, but the Kingdom of Perusia later became a powerful German state centered in Brandenburg, the capital of which was Berlin. I like how y'all said Peru like y'all was really right and y'all knew what y'all was talking about though. Y'all had stated that like that was that. Perugia, a German, southwestern Iran. I ran too. I'm about to I ran to the bed and get in this motherfucker. I am. Well, everything keeps coming back to Germany, that's meant. Well, I guess I'm going to go on and go. This was fun. we discovered a lot of lies once more. A lot of lies once again. These motherfuckers was building castles. Hey, wait a minute, real quick. Hey, It's just my simple assessment, but I need to know where the pussy was at. See what I'm saying? They was broke back mountain in it. Cause where's all the pussy at? This is a brotherhood. Where's the bitches and shit? Where's the women's? Where is the dusty boxes at? Where is the mustard slits? Where's the cottage cheese factories? Where is they? They in the castles, not washing their asses, huh? Disgusting. Well, I bet them was the most sourest and stained and standing up. My baby daddy mama used to be like, make sure y'all take a bath so them pants don't stand up and walk out the room by themselves. Them probably is the most sourest. Fuck sweat it. Mustardest, cottage cheesedest, bloodified, stained, stank, standing up on its own, moving throughout the unbuilt castle, looking for a washroom. And you know how they love to breathe in each other's face. And they probably was just throwing legs back with all kinds of fumes and rotten stuff happening. Let that sink in. Shout out to Paul Revere, Jack Black. Anyway, solitude de wa, solitude de she. I show gratitude. I love y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all night mornings.